Did you just start streaming?
She did. It's time. 6:30. Go, Mike.
We're streaming now?
Yep.
Now it's
We're doing it. We're doing it.
It's
Hey, it's 6:30.
All right, folks. This Gemini Man reviews come in. Disney Plus dumps their entire opening slate, and we're going to talk about House of X. All this and more this week in Geek. Welcome to the Grizzled Geek Podcast, episode 15. I'm Mike.
I'm Kirsten.
I'm Doug.
And we're here with your nerd news, your weekly wrap-up of nerd news.
The light sprinkling of nerd news
The
that we have
light
this week.
sprinkling of nerd news. Not a whole lot this week, but we do have a couple of stories we want to share with you guys. Stuff going on in our lives. First off, I want to point out, shout out to my friend Justin, who got me this awesome blanket. Yes. For those of you who don't know, I am actually Native American, and he's got me this awesome blanket filled with smallpox. Carrying on a tradition from his family.
Oh my god. Oh
But
my.
yes. I didn't even know they made plush smallpox. But
They do. They have a wide variety of diseases that you can purchase
That
in
is
plushy
awesome.
form.
that is awesome. He also got me a pancreas because, mine's broken. So
Oh, what a good friend.
I know. Isn't it awesome? And believe it or not, his mom thought I'd be offended by this. Clearly, she didn't know me. But we also have another kind of a feel-good story, Kirsten. Kind of a story of a good friend, bad friend? You decide.
My blunders. So, I've been trying to get into comics. So Doug gave me some of his comics. And I've been trying really hard to read them, but I get so busy. So I make it a habit to bring them wherever I'm at. And a few months ago, I got sick. And you'll see how this is all related. I got sick and my throat was sore, so I was eating a whole bunch of popsicles. And you're sick, you just kind of throw them all over the place. So a week or so later, I was like, I should read that book. So I picked it up and was ready to take it to work. And apparently it was on my nightstand, and it had been sitting in a pile of not dried out, but some sticky liquid from the blue popsicles that I was eating on my nightstand. And I was like, okay, I can fix this. I immediately pulled up Amazon, found the comic, same exact everything, purchased it, and then had this slow-mo moment where I was my heart dropped into my stomach, and I was like, oh no, what if it's signed? So I quickly go over to the comic and get to the front page, and of course it's signed, and it's signed specifically some reference to the comic itself. It's Archer.
Yeah, Archer and Armstrong.
Archer and Armstrong.
Yeah.
Specifically, it's signed to the place where the comic was purchased, and it had a whole thing about stay paranoid, which is the whole theme of the book. So I was like, oh, I can't just what am I supposed to do about this? I didn't want to just scribble and pretend that that's what was in it or anything. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just reach out to the artist and I'll explain this crazy story about how I'm a terrible friend that ruined my friend's comic book. And if he could sign it, that would be great, and I'll pay him for it and everything. So I went through this very long, embellished story about exactly what had happened, and sent it out to him, and he got back to me a couple weeks later, and he was like, wow, that's a story. Yeah, I can sign it for you. So I sent out the comic book that I'd purchased on Amazon, and I just received, he sent me an email back saying, I signed it to Doug, and I sent a whole letter explaining like we were on Grizzled Geek and all this other stuff. So he said I signed one for him, and there's a surprise for you. So I just got the box like a couple days ago, and there were 2 new copies of the Archer comics, and on the inside was a drawing of a blue popsicle dripping. There was one for me that said, "For Kirsten." I think it says, "You're a good friend," or something like that. And then there's one for him that has also a picture of a popsicle dripping, blue popsicle specifically. And it says, "For Doug, stay paranoid. Kirsten's a good friend. Love, Fred." So shout out to Fred for being an amazing person. Thank you so much for saving my friendship. You're amazing.
That's going above and beyond there. That's how you know she's a good friend. Because I would have been like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Here's your you can't open the last 2 pages anymore, but, it's popsicle." But that's the difference in friends.
So am I a good friend or am I a bad friend? I don't know. You can decide.
I would say that's pretty good. All right, so feel-good story, slightly racist story. Now...
Just how we do here.
Just that's how we do it. And now on to the nerd news. First up, Gemini Man. Are you familiar with this? This is the Will Smith movie where he plays both characters.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
A copy of himself. Yeah. This one was kind of flying into my radar. Like I saw about it, and then I was like, Gemini Man, what is this? I don't remember it. It's how much I was looking forward to it because I saw a preview and I didn't even remember the name. I had to look it up. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of wanted to see that. But apparently it's pretty good. The early reviews are in, and it's being hailed as technical marvel with wild action. So, they're saying see it on the biggest screen you can. So,
well, and it's some of the most dramatic de-aging
yeah,
that we've seen.
Yeah.
right. That technology's gotten crazy.
Yeah.
And the whole deepfake thing's kind of
It's weird.
it creeps
I
me
don't
out.
like it.
I don't like it. That's like one step from the robots taking over.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not for me.
Not
we don't
really.
need you anymore. We can deepfake you.
Deepfake. Yeah. Actor quits. What is deepfake?
No, everyone will know that it's not him.
Yeah.
We can't imitate Mike.
That's true. Can't. Taking an AI to duplicate my personality.
For many reasons.
Right.
We won't go into.
All right, but yeah, so that is, the big thing there is that it's actually getting. It doesn't come out for another month, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't come out for a while yet.
I haven't
so
been paying attention to it either.
This and Joker both had really early reviews. Well, Joker because it was hitting the film festival circuit.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are both reviewed really early. But
I feel like, I don't know, all the trailers I've seen of it, it just seems like it's going to be another Will Smith movie. Not that they're not all great, but they're all kind of like, eh.
it's a Will Smith movie.
Yeah.
Like,
And it looks like something that's already been done.
Right.
Like,
true.
gonna go fight myself.
It has been done, but now with one younger. So that's the twist. That's that's going to get butts in seats.
Yeah.
The twist is one's younger than the other one.
Interesting.
So, you know what? I should probably, while we're talking about it, let's see if anybody's. Oh yeah, Ben's there.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, Ben. Good. We got a story up here just for you. We can make fun of you when we get there. All right. So yeah, Gemini Man. So okay, obviously, it's getting good reviews. Are you going to see it? Either one of you guys?
No.
No, no, not at all.
I don't know. We'll see if I have time because I have the.
I was going to say, why aren't you seeing all these movies?
I should be. I've got the
pass.
freaking whatever it's called, A-lister, freaking pay once a month.
You just
for
pay them $20 a month for whatever for nothing.
Oh, I guess you do have that. Might as well go check it
Yeah, I
out.
should probably go see
So
some
it
of these.
feels
Yeah.
like Hulu. I'm like every month I'm paying for that.
There's good shows on there. Go watch Harlow.
I don't watch them.
Good.
I know there's good shows on there. I just don't.
I pay for Hulu so that every once in a while I can watch Bob's Burgers with my wife, and then occasionally watch Stargate Atlantis. But I will go months with not.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
pay every month. But
Luckily, I won't have to worry about it anymore because it's going to come with
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, which
And then ESPN.
That's
and
the
all.
Joker to see.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's not going to do it.
Doug's super excited about the Joker.
Yeah.
I'll pay $20.
You got to help him beat Venom.
I was gonna say almost excited as Venom.
It's got to beat Venom's October record.
Nope, actually, I should go see Venom again just to keep the Joker from beating it. That's how little
I bet it's a better movie.
It probably is.
Yeah. All right.
Kind of has to be.
What's up next?
All right. So DC reveals a new title treatment for Birds of Prey, and Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
I actually like this title.
That title is awesome.
I like the title. That's a good one.
And they're totally like playing in on the her split with the Joker.
Yeah.
In this, like, there was a trailer last week we were telling Doug about it, but they were in front of It 2. I go see It 2. Like the red balloon started coming up, like and the It music started playing, and all of a sudden a balloon pops, and there's Harley Quinn there with a sledgehammer saying, "I'm so over clowns," and that was just a trailer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the marketing for this, like I said, I wasn't sure about this movie, and again, it's DC, so I won't be sure until I see it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Is it another Suicide Squad? Is it Wonder Woman? What are we getting out of this?
Yeah.
So I hope it's good because I like the cast. I like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn,
I do too.
and I was a big fan of the old Birds of Prey TV series. Remember that? Back in the day,
No.
They had Huntress and the Mockingbird and
Batgirl.
and Oracle.
Oracle.
Yeah, and actually had Batman and Catwoman in the first episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
Was that an animated or
no? It was live action. Live
Oh,
action back. It
interesting.
was like CW back in the
Alright.
day.
Cool.
All right, Doug.
All right. The New Warriors is officially dead, and we are psychic.
We just
talked this last week.
Like out of
We're like,
random,
it's not going to happen.
What happened to the New Warriors? That movie they announced like 3 years ago. I mean, there's TV series. They had a cast was announced. It was supposed to come out with Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger's like in their second season already.
Yeah.
Well, whatever happened to it? So we went down a list of what happened to it. And how it's probably dead. And then this week, boom, Disney's like, nope, we had nothing to do with that, and we're not going to do anything with it.
That's good.
Oh, Ben says he thinks it's on Prime for free. I think he's referencing the old Birds of Prey.
Oh, the old Birds of Prey, yeah.
Interesting.
It is. It's on DC Universe. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I only watched that for the new, watch Titans and Swamp Thing and
Yeah.
Doom Patrol. And
Wow.
and it's how it's like an abusive relationship. I'm back for more with season 2 of Titans.
As you do.
Yeah. Which, again, I like everybody other than the Titans.
Yeah.
I like Hawk and Dove. I like, Wonder Girl.
Yeah.
And I don't mind Robin, although he's going to be Nightwing this season.
Oh, good.
So he's actually had set photos of him in the blue and black Nightwing
Yes.
costume. So I'm like, yes, I like that actor. I like him as Robin. I like him as Nightwing. We'll talk about the rest. But
Another time.
all right. Where am I at? Oh yeah, Robert Downey Jr. will reprise his role of Tony Stark in the Black Widow movie.
Wow.
Now we don't know if he's going to be like
The extent to which he's
the
in it.
extent to which, yeah. Is he's in probably like a scene? So there's going to be a cameo.
Sure.
I don't know what. It's payday for
Well, because it's set after
Civil
War,
right?
it'll have to. It'll probably reference that.
Yeah, true. And it probably won't be an Iron Man. It'll probably just be Tony Stark.
Right.
Or some are saying they don't know if he's just going to be a voice on a video screen or whatever. He's actually in person. I think he's going to be in person
Maybe.
because it's Robert Downey Jr. and he'll fly in for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for a take. So I mean, we'll get to see him. We'll get to see Tony Stark one more time. In the Black Widow movie, which I can't get more hyped for this movie. I'm going to get to see Red Guardian and Taskmaster.
Yeah.
And Scarlett Johansson, which I'm always up for. So I'm excited about it.
I'm really curious to see how it's going to turn out, like all the numbers for it, because I have zero interest in that movie.
Really?
I don't
I like the character, but I like all the side characters they're bringing into it, right? Like Red Guardian, I'm like, I can't believe they're doing it. And
Yeah.
David Harbour's playing Red Guardian.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on now. Hopper is the Russian Captain America. I'm in for that alone.
Yeah.
And then, then Taskmaster is one of the coolest bad guys ever, and he's going to be in it, so I'm excited.
I think we'll see a lot of hardcore nerds and even people that are like begging for any sort of Marvel anything come into it, but I don't know. I don't know how much we'll see on the numbers for that.
Yeah, we'll see how. Because if there's enough nerd or enough Marvel goodwill.
Yeah.
Because this is still old guard. This movie here. It's not like any of the new stuff that's coming out yet.
Yeah.
It's still, especially with Robert Downey Jr. in it. So that ups the ticket price right there. So
Yeah.
all right, what's the next one we got?
Joker is tracking for 8.97 million opening, which would beat the Venom record of 80 million for
It was
October.
89.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
89.7.
89.7.
89.7. My
We
bad.
should have wrote in the point because Mike wrote 897 million. But
Very optimistic. Very.
Very optimistic.
But yes, so it's on track to beat the October record, but it's held by Venom right now, which I have a problem with Venom holding that record. Venom holding any record,
Yeah.
really. But so I'm kind of rooting for it to beat it.
all right. So what we need is Marvel to release an October movie next year, just to
Right.
kind
To
of
top
sink them both.
Yeah.
Adjust your schedule a little bit, Marvel. We need you to have all of the records.
Did
Yeah.
you guys happen to watch the film theory for Joker? The new Joker movie? Oh my god, watch it. It's
Is
so
it
good.
good?
Hmm. It's a theory that perhaps the Joker in the movie isn't the real Joker. It's
That's
very
something
cool.
me and Doug were talking about.
Yeah.
Like
Well-
if at the end we see a young kid, like seeing all that going on, and then he gets inspired by him, and that kid becomes a Joker or whatever.
Yeah.
Doug said he'd be fine with the movie at that point.
Yeah.
I would be more fine with the movie if this guy turned out to be the inspiration for the actual Joker. Then I would go, "Oh, okay, that was a great twist.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's hilarious if that turns out to be true because we
Right.
just talked about it last week. We're like,
We already predicted New Warriors being canceled, so
there we go.
they psychic powers.
Change your name to Grizzled
The
Psychics.
Grizzled
The
Psychic.
Grizzled
You can
Psychics.
write in. We'll answer for you.
We'll see if this is psychic or not. But is this a rumor or? All right. Well, let me go ahead. Silver Surfer in early stages of development. Where is this coming from?
This word is coming out from now this. This is the people that have been breaking all the Marvel scoops so far with all the TV series and stuff like that. So it's from a reputable source.
Reputable source. All right.
So and we know Kevin Feige loves Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. Well, I mean, this does not necessarily say he won't appear somewhere else first. But Silver Surfer, to me, is the kind of character you need to introduce somewhere else
Like Guardians of the Galaxy or
maybe before you try and shove him out solo. You need to give people a reason to tune into him.
Right. Here's the thing. I think I'm just excited about Silver Surfer because it's one step closer to an actual Defenders, with Doctor Strange and Silver Surfer and the Incredible Hulk, right?
Yeah.
The original Defenders, not like,
But then we've got one missing piece. Got to have the Submariner.
Submariner, yeah.
Which I don't understand people who like that character. He's such an awful character.
He's a great character to hate.
Well, I guess. He's in wrestling terms, he's got a lot of heat, I guess.
Yeah, it's true. So I'm excited about Silver Surfer movie. I would watch. What am I saying? It's a Marvel movie. I'm going to watch it.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch it till one sucks.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably be in denial for at least two more movies after that.
Yeah.
So when I say, there's really no credence to anything. If I say I'm going to watch it as a Marvel movie, of course. It's a Marvel movie, I'm going to watch it. Mm-hmm. They can say I'm doing the Power Pack. I'm like, really? I guess I'm going to watch this. All right. I guess I'm watching Power Pack. All right, where are we at?
The alternate Iron Man.
Just lost my place already. It's always me.
Yeah.
Okay, alternate Iron Man post-credit scene. Have you guys seen this?
No.
It's making its way around the internet here. So, the Nick Fury scene where he comes out and says, "Welcome to
Heard
the Avengers
about it.
Initiative."
Yeah.
Well, there's a take in there where he's got a line saying, "There's kids with radioactive spider bites and mutants popping up everywhere." And now this.
Oh.
So he references X-Men and
Okay.
Spider-Man
Interesting.
in that clip, but it was before they had any idea of doing an expanded universe, right? This was the first movie.
Right. Yeah.
The whole Nick Fury cameo was just a lark from, John Favreau thought it'd be cool to do it.
Right.
Right? So he called he's like, hey, he's called him Samuel L. Jackson because Nick Fury looks like you in the Ultimate Comics when it come to a cameo. And so it was just a little secret thing. And they built the world's most powerful franchise off of that one little scene
Yeah.
at the end of that first movie.
Right.
And they almost, wrote a check they couldn't cash there with that mentioning
Yeah.
2 things they didn't own.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, it's making the rounds, so people are talking about it.
Well, Kevin scoops the Batman movies and says it will be based on the Long Halloween. Oops, sorry.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yep.
Kevin Smith. Now, I don't know where he's getting this from, but he
I know
says
which the Batman, the
one that
Reeves
yes,
or yeah,
Matt
Wow.
Reeves.
Matt Reeves Batman. Okay.
Yeah, the Twilight Star,
Interesting.
Robert Pattinson, Batman.
I think it'll be fine.
So, tell us about the Long Halloween, Doug. Is this a good idea? And everything you've heard, does it line up with the bad guys you've heard about?
I gotta be honest. It's been so long since I've read The Long Halloween. I don't. Rush is more recent in my mind. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
The Hush. That was what I was thinking it was going to be based on, but yeah, well, the Long Halloween. I know I've read it.
Yeah.
I know it was what's his name's art.
Tim Sale.
Tim Sale. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much got everybody in it.
Yeah. So
Early
it makes sense.
days
They all-
of crime fighting tells the mysterious killer named Holiday who murders people on holidays, one each month. Working attorney Harvey Dent and Captain James Gordon, Batman races against the calendar and tries to discover who Holiday is before he claims his next victim.
So it's set early in Batman's career. So
Right.
there's that.
Which makes sense because it's young
it's
Batman.
Yeah, so it's before Gordon's commissioner. He's still a police captain.
Right. And based on doesn't mean it's going to be a direct adaptation of
Yeah.
it. It could just be
Because yeah, it's got everybody in it.
yeah.
It's got all of the big ones. Joker, Riddler, Two-Face.
Penguin.
I don't know if the Penguin's in it. Scarecrow's in it.
Oh,
Poison
it's over
Ivy's in
there.
it. Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Um,
Riddler, yep.
yeah, I don't think Penguin's in it.
Oh, okay. Well,
It does
But,
say
yeah.
that a story also ties the events that transform Harvey Dent into Batman's enemy Two-Face, which would be interesting to see.
that would be cool. Although we've seen his origin. Well, we've only
Yeah.
seen it once.
Yeah.
He was already Two-Face in the Tim Burton Batmans. Not even Tim Burton anymore. He was in
Joel Schumacher.
Joel Schumacher's Batman. Yeah. All right. See, still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I can't even say it without you.
Yeah.
Sparkle Batman, Ben says.
Sparkle Batman. Yes.
But yeah, so I hope it's not this.
Really?
Yeah, The Long Halloween's great, but it is too ambitious for a 2-hour movie. It shouldn't. Yeah, it's not something to. Same thing with Hush. It's not something you do in the first appearance of this character.
Actually,
you should.
DC Universe series.
Yeah, or it's in a series of movies where because you would have to have all of those characters introduced. It assumes a lot of lore, a lot of lore about Batman because it's got all kinds of villains, including some fairly esoteric ones like Calendar Man and the Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
And so they're gonna seem weird. You've got to everybody knows about Arkham, so that's not so bad. But you really got to set this up beforehand. So I hate to see super good stories like that given, kind of, smashed into a shorter movie that's just not going to get the full weight of the story behind it. So, I don't know. For me, I hope it's not. I hope it's not The Long Halloween.
Okay. Because you think in order to do it as a 2-hour movie, they'd have to tone it down so much.
Yeah, you'd have to.
From the original source material.
You'd have to collapse characters together. You'd have to do a lot of jiggering too. I mean, so.
So if he does it and it turns out good, he's a genius. If he's not, we told you so.
Well, yeah. And I like the idea that we heard a long time ago where it might be the. I think the bad guy's
Court of
name is
Owls?
Firefly.
Oh no, Firefly.
Yeah, he's an arsonist.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's Firefly.
That was an early rumor.
Yeah, that was a cool because it sounded very much like a radio drama they did that had a lot.
Ben says they should have just stuck with year one.
No, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna do early Batman. That's a story to tell.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Well, I guess we'll see as more comes out about it. But here's an interesting one. Yeah, this is cool to hear. Haley Atwell is going to be in Mission Impossible 7 and 8 as the female lead.
Huh.
I like Haley Atwell. So
I'm all for more Haley Atwell and whatever. I don't care.
she's really good.
So yes, absolutely.
I'm really sad that we weren't at D23 so we could get a signed poster of her as Captain Britain or whatever she's going to be.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, it looked really cool.
2 years, every money.
Oh, yes. So expensive. So expensive.
So okay. All right, Ben. This one's for you. Let's see here.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hey.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. All right, Ben. Smallville's Tom Wellington. Someone put,
Welling.
James said Wellington the other day, and it got stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Like, no.
He
Tom
said
Welling.
Beef Wellington.
Beef Wellington. Tom Welling. It will reprise his role as Clark Kent in the Crisis on Infinite Earth for the Berlantiverse.
Yeah.
The big crossover this year. Now, that was a rumor, right, for a long time, and he was like saying, well, they haven't approached me yet or anything else. He's kind of like pushing off the rumors. Now it's been confirmed. Yes, in
So
fact.
is that 4 different Supermen?
That
we're
is
gonna
4
get?
different Supermen.
Yeah.
Supermen. Not just Superman. They're Supermen.
Yeah. Cool.
So because we got Brandon Routh, who's playing the Kingdom Come Superman, right?
Mhm.
We've got Hoechlin, whatever his name is, who is the Superman in that universe,
Right.
right? And then we're gonna have what was it? Now we got Tom Welling. Welling is Clark Kent.
Yeah.
So
So just 3?
that's 3. Yeah. I thought there was another one though. There was
Yeah, I don't know.
no. Brandon Routh is an interesting one because he already plays
The Atom.
the Atom in that universe, but he also played Superman in the movie.
Yeah.
So,
It's very interesting.
but he's not playing either one of those characters. This is a new Superman.
Yeah.
So he's not playing Superman he played the movies, and he's not playing the guy he plays in the series. He's just playing a different Superman.
It's awesome.
Odd. This Crisis on Infinite Earth sounds so crazy. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
It's like the most ambitious crossover I've ever heard of. And I remember reading those comics as a kid, so I'm super excited to see that. Ben, I knew you'd be excited about Tom Welling. Hopefully, he has an S on his chest this time. You know, as that poor guy had to go. I'm like, wouldn't it suck to be a Superman in that universe? Like everybody gets a costume before you in that universe.
Yeah.
Like Aqualad's running around with a costume, and I'm still rocking, plaid. Sorry. All right.
All right. Mandalorian's Jon Favreau wants to make Star Wars Christmas special and encourages fans to let Disney know.
This is a weird one.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel
I don't
about
think
this.
so. I think
don't know how
it'd
to
be
feel about this.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, come on. If you know what the Christmas special is, if you haven't seen a Star Wars Christmas special, this is the first. This is something they rushed out after Star Wars was such a huge hit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Well, to say it's crazy, until you've seen it, the first introduction of Boba Fett in an animated part of it has B. Arthur in
Yeah.
it. For God's sake, it's got Art Carney. Art Carney and B. Arthur in Star Wars, something Star Wars. All right, so it is one of the weirdest things you'll ever see. Chewbacca's family, he's trying to get home for Life Day. It's weird.
Yeah.
But Jon Favreau loved it, and he loved the fact that, and he even mentioned that the rifle that the Mandalorian uses is based off of Boba Fett's rifle in that animated.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And when you look at the picture, you're like, oh yeah, it is. That's that rifle.
That's awesome.
So yeah, he wants to do Star Wars. He's like on Disney Plus. Like, yes, I got to pitch that to Disney.
Yeah.
Go tell Disney we want to see.
Make this happen.
Yeah,
That's
I
funny.
mean, don't get me wrong. I would watch this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. We need a Christmas special. Yes.
We live in a momentarily perfect world. Break.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Don't know what to do with that news, but am I excited about it or scared? I don't know.
Both.
But I want to see it. All right, Doug, what do we got?
All right. Disney Plus announced their starting lineup. And
Okay.
Mike typed them all out.
Well, I
Every
didn't figure we'd
single
go through
one.
all of them because there's
We won't go through them all, but I
We'll
do
put a link
want
in down below.
to. I do want to ask: was there a specific Marvel movie that they did not include in the lineup? Because you have listed 19 movies here.
Yes.
So I'm not sure which ones are not in the list and why they might not have been in the list.
Yeah, I don't know what's here. What do they have? They have all the Iron Men, right?
Yep. They have all the Thor, all the Iron Man, all the
Thor.
Guardians.
They have Thor Dark World in here too.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Both Captain Americas, Black Panther, Ant-Man and the Wasp, both the Infinity War and Endgame, both the other Avengers. So I'm kind of struggling for what's not here.
Yeah. What do we miss?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Isn't there 21? Oh, the most recent Spider-Man's not on the list.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
makes
it probably
sense.
won't be. As soon as it's Sony.
Yeah, since
Yeah.
it's Sony.
Sony
Okay.
took their toys and went home.
Well, I mean, yeah, who knows? Yeah, so neither of the Spider-Men are on this list.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the problem we're running into. That is disappointing.
It is. Yeah. Neither
Well,
Spider-Man.
have we heard? Last thing we
Here's
knew
the
is
thing,
there's an offer
Last
maybe
thing,
on
there was
the
a
table.
rumor that there was, and this rumor hasn't been shot down. Like all the other rumors got shot down real quick by either side, right? The last rumor was Sony went back to Disney with 30% offer. Like you take 30%, but you have to include Venom in the Marvel Universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which if they give Marvel creative control over, I won't have a problem with.
Yeah, go for it.
Right? I'm like, I'll take Venom if it means we get Spider-Man back.
Right.
It's a package deal, fine.
Mm-hmm.
So there has been no word. That's been over a week now since that came out, and that hit the news everywhere. And there's been nobody denying it. Nobody,
Interesting.
So we will see what happens, right?
Yeah. All the Star Wars.
This is what I'm excited about: the Marvel animated TV.
Oh yeah.
This
Yeah,
is like
and
my
it-
childhood come back to life right here.
And it looks like it's most of it. I can't say for sure it's all of it, but it looks like it is.
Yeah.
It's got both X-Men.
What I care about is Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Yes,
I mean,
that
come
would
on
be
now.
awesome.
The rest is great. The 90s
Right.
X-Men obviously
For
is
sure.
is classic.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man and his amazing friends, man, that was Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh, it doesn't have the Avengers one.
Oh yeah,
Interesting.
true. I don't know.
Yeah.
And remember, this is launch. This is
Yeah,
what they
this
have
is-
during
this
launch.
launched
That's
it.
true.
There's
yeah.
going to be more stuff added like every month, and there's nothing coming off that first year. So it's just there's going to be adding more stuff to it.
True. Yeah.
So-
Yeah, and we got all the Star Wars films,
Yep.
all the Star Wars TV, at least all the Disney era, and Lucas's the Clone Wars, but all the Disney era TV shows,
Yep.
the Clone Wars. I think all of Pixar. I'm not.
I don't know.
I'm not seeing anything jumping out that is as missing.
Maybe all those planes and they got cars.
They have Cars, but not any. Yeah, you're right. It's just Cars 1, 2, and 3. It's not got the plane
The
ones.
planes or
Maybe the direct-to-video ones might not be here, but
well,
yeah, the first 3 Toy Stories.
was you saying you're
Toy
like
Story
excited about Bug's Life?
Yeah, I love Bug's Life. That's a movie from my childhood. And I got Brave. I love Brave.
Brave is a good.
Looks like we got most of the animated classics, including the Renaissance era stuff. Then we've got a ton of other movie titles that are just, take your pick. It's
Planes was a mistake.
Planes was definitely a mistake.
yeah,
For sure.
anything from Dr. Dolittle to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids to the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
It's a lot of
Wreck-It Ralph.
Is there
Zootopia.
obvious Fox ones in here yet, or the Pirates, or that's Disney?
Nope, I don't. Sorry, I did that little thing.
Right
I
to the
don't know why I
microphone.
did that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, and then we've got Agent Carter, Agents of Shield.
Oh yeah.
DuckTales.
Yeah.
Awesome.
DuckTales?
Yes. Phineas and Ferb. The Simpsons.
Kim Possible.
Yeah.
Boy Meets World and Girl Meets World. That's interesting.
A bunch of stuff that I've, I don't know a bunch of the Disney shows,
Yeah.
Wizards of Waverly
That's so
Place. Come on
Raven.
now. You didn't watch that?
No.
Excellent show.
So
Agent Carter, Agent Carter.
I'm looking forward because I didn't get to see Agent Carter, so I'm glad that that's going to be there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to disappear for like a month once this comes out.
And this is before the Mandalorian hits, which will be a month later.
No, this is Mandalorian's day one, isn't it?
No, it's not on this list. It comes out.
Well, this doesn't list any of the new shows. This is all just
all the
Darkwing
stuff.
legacy
Duck.
content.
Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck is not on here, but we can hope that it will be coming out eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
Because
There's already more stuff on here than you have time to watch by the time
for sure.
new stuff comes out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, super excited. Is there anything? So there's no glaring holes that you saw
No.
that are missing.
Not
Not a whole lot of Fox stuff. I mean, Simpsons, right? So they have a whole library of Fox stuff to roll out.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it because Disney Plus, they've got Hulu to throw the Fox stuff onto. They're not going to throw any Fox stuff that is obviously not family friendly.
Right. Disney Plus is going to be.
You're not going to
family
see Aliens or anything like that on Disney Plus.
friendly. Right.
So we'll see how.
But that'll be Hulu. That's why they got Hulu.
They've got they control Hulu now, so they can use that.
They control. All hail our mouse overlords.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's just a time. I mean, basically what they're saying is your holiday is wrecked. It's going to be spending the winter
Yep.
even more of a loner than you normally are. But shut in, basically.
Yeah, I was wondering what I was going to do with the extra day I have on my trip to that Warhammer tournament. I guess I'm going to be sitting in my room watching Disney Plus.
Hibernating is what you're going to be doing.
I'll go to San Diego or something like that. Nope, I'm going to be watching Disney Plus.
Jonathan says, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is one of the first movies I ever watched with my dad. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, comics.
Okay,
That's
comics. We're going to discuss some comics because there's some major stuff happening in comics right now. We had a great little comic story to start off the podcast with. A couple things. I'll talk about the first one just real quick. We knew J.J. Abrams and his son was writing a Spider-Man comic, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody assumed it was just going to be, and they were going to introduce a new bad guy. So we thought it was going to be, okay, a standard J.J. Abrams and his son, they're not regular comic writers. It'd be a standard run-of-the-mill Peter Parker Spider-Man story with a new villain.
Yeah.
First issue came out, all that went out the window. This is crazy. Basically, spoilers. Spoilers for the comic that came out.
Yeah, both of these comic stories will have spoilers.
So if you collect comics, you want to read these, then don't listen to this. But I'm going to go all into it because it's crazy. All right, so this series is not about Peter Parker. Like Peter Parker loses a battle in the first episode, right? He loses an arm. The first issue, loses an arm. MJ dies, right? It's like to be like, what? You're reading this going, what's going on here? This is not a Spider-Man comic I was expecting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Turns out they have a son, Ben, obviously named after his uncle, and basically like losing MJ and his arm, he kind of crushes Peter. He travels around. And Ben lives with Aunt May. She's raising him. And so it skips ahead when he's a teenager and he starts developing powers, spider powers. So it transferred over.
So he's a mutant.
But yeah, well, yes. He's
Born with his powers.
He inherited his dad's powers. And the new villain is named Cadaverous. I don't know whether it's going to play into the long story, but it's clearly with only one episode. Issue. Only one issue out right now. It's clearly this story is going to be Ben Parker's story, not Peter Parker's story. So, yeah, totally.
Since it's in the future, it's essentially a what if.
Yeah, it's like an alternate. Well, this could happen. Who knows? Because it's set in the future. But yeah, took everybody by surprise. Everyone's like, oh,
Yeah.
they're gonna write a cute little Spider-Man story. Nope. Craziness, but. That craziness pales in comparison to what they're doing with X-Men right now in House of X.
Man.
Sounds pretty J.J. Abrams.
Yes.
That's true. So, Doug, you want to talk about House of X now?
Sure. First off, like major spoilers. There's two actual comics: House of X and Powers of X.
Right.
And House of X is kind of read comics anymore, except for the occasional Valiant stuff.
Right.
It's
We
just,
both
it's got,
agree that X-Men needed a reboot.
X-Men did need something. It needed a freshening up. There have been so many different artists, authors, writers, who have done so many just weird things and just off-the-wall stories that it's become so convoluted you couldn't. It needed its own Crisis on Infinite Earths kind of thing, kind of treatment. Yeah. So this looks like that's what it's doing. It. So there are 5 issues of each out now, I believe. I think we're at episode 10 or part 10 of the story, at least how some people are saying it. And some crazy stuff's going on.
Every issue got crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
Like first big spoiler, they kill off the major X-Men in issue 1.
Huh.
No, it's not in issue 1.
Issue 1?
No, it's issue like 4 or 5.
You sure?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the no, it was earlier, but not that early. It was
it wasn't like
The first couple issues are you find out Moira McTaggart is a mutant.
I thought it was in Powers of X, that Moira McTaggart story.
It might be. It's House of X and Powers of X. They kind of go back and forth, and you kind of have to read both to get what's going on.
Yeah.
So in that, you find out that she's a mutant, and that her mutant power is to relive her life. So when she dies, she goes back in time and is born again, but with all of the knowledge she gained from that lifetime.
Huh. Yeah.
So
every time she repeats it, she's got the knowledge of the
right.
past.
And it's very interesting, very cool, the ideas that they generate, because you find out at this point she's on life 10 or 11, I can't remember. So all of the stuff that's happened in the X universe is kind of replayed through her. You know, like her first life, she's just a regular life. She's a teacher. She doesn't do anything unusual. She dies and then she's reborn. And then she's like, whoa. So in this next life, she's like, she studies biology and some psychology or something like that to try and figure out what's going on with her. She meets Professor Xavier, and then I forget what happened. She ends up dying again. And it goes through all of these lives where she tries to do stuff to prevent things that are happening, but things continually happen. Like she gets killed by essentially the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, not really, but one iteration of them. And that she becomes more and more kind of like radicalized. Like she joins Magneto's side, then she figures out that there's no stopping things. Anyways, you get to the point where she's lived all of these lives and realized that in every one of them, the Sentinels inevitably kill off mutants. And she finally decides, all right, we got to try something different. And she lets Professor X read her mind and find out all of these lives she's lived. So then it launches this whole story about where he's trying to create this perfect paradise existence on Krakoa, which you'll remember is where the first X-Men team was captured by the island, and the new team...
We're talking about Giant Size X-Men #1.
Correct, yeah. And the new team had to go save them from the living island. But it turns out, Professor X had Cypher go communicate with the island, and they set it up as a home base, as where all mutants were going to live. And he's got some weird stuff where the island can grow plants that you can use to teleport between the flowers. It's very odd in that sense. But anyways, that leads to one of the versions of they found out that, there's this group, I forget what the name of the organization is. It's basically a bunch of different humans that includes AIM, Hydra, SHIELD, all kinds of other people who are all trying to work on saving humanity from the mutants. They've got the Mother Mold, who will eventually create Master Molds. So the X-Men attack to try and destroy the station before it can go online, and then all of the X-Men...
Which are the Nightmare of Future Past Sentinels, the Master Mold?
Yeah. Well, Master Mold happened in the Prime timeline, Nimrod's which he'll come along to.
Yeah.
You find, and there's this weird, also, I think in Powers of X, I could be mixing these up, but there's this weird, like, year one, which is Xavier and McTaggart's, or Moira's, because she's not McTaggart in this, Moira's past, where they kind of meet and come up with this plan, and then there's year 10, kind of the current timeline of what's going on, then there's year 100, which is this weird, like, it's almost Nightmares of Futures Past with Nimrod the Lesser, and he's battling, and you find out that apparently Apocalypse and the his four horsemen are good guys.
Yeah.
Or at least they're protagonists. They're on the side of the mutants.
Right.
And then you've got Year 1000 or something like that, where I think it's Year 1000. Anyways, there's these weird time leaps. It's very odd. But it's intriguing.
Right.
There's some intriguing elements to the story that you're just like, okay, this could be cool. I like what they're doing with the characters.
Some of the stuff's really weird, like a teleporting flowers.
Yeah, the teleporting flowers seem kind of weird.
That's a little weird. And how they bring, well, before we get into that, they do kill off the X-Men team, right?
The main team.
In a pretty spectacular way.
Yeah.
But, fear not, they're back in the next issue.
Or several
Ruby's gotten
issues.
to
The
ya.
latest issue,
The
we
latest
should say.
issue. When they found out that Professor X can bring them back in an over-convoluted
Well,
way.
yeah. One, it introduces some of the stupidest characters I've ever heard of, including Goldball. That is the character's name.
I saw this article, like, is Goldball the most powerful mutant ever? And I'm like, first off, I didn't know there was a mutant, anybody named Goldball.
Right.
And no, he's not.
And no, he can't be.
Whoever asked that question, no, he's not. Because he is only the first stage in a 5-stage process that has to happen in order to bring somebody back. Actually, a 6-stage process that you have to go through to bring somebody back from the dead. Essentially, while people are still alive, Professor Xavier copies their mind using Cerebro.
Sure.
So that if they ever die, he's got a backup.
As you do. I'm going to copy mine.
Goldball,
Goldballs.
and I don't remember all of the... He's just so ridiculous I couldn't forget his name. He looks stupid. It just... Oh, this is dumb. The Five. They're called the Five. So these characters...
Goldballs.
Goldball creates... and it's actually... It's gold balls, not gold balls.
Yeah, it's gold balls. I told you it was Goldballs.
Look at his stupid... Anyways, I think these things are apparently
He's wearing shorts, too.
infertile eggs.
He shoots infertile eggs?
Yeah, they're infertile eggs. Then the next person in the
This just
line
got
of the
grosser than I
Five
remember.
makes them fertile.
As you do?
Then the next person in the
In a
line...
traditional way, or?
No, because he's male and she's female, I believe.
So the female fertilizes the male eggs?
Yes, correct, apparently.
Because it's mutants, you know,
Because
why
it's
not?
mutants. Then somebody else along the line makes it so that it can actually grow and be viable. It's this weird process about, they can grow a new version, but it's just the body that Professor X then needs to put the mind back in using the backup created with Cerebro.
Interesting.
Man, they could have totally skipped like 5 of those steps.
Yeah.
And just
And
made it a lot
I
simpler.
guarantee you the only reason that this convoluted process exists is so that you can kill one of them off and then no longer be able to resurrect mutants.
Otherwise, they're immortal.
Otherwise, you can just keep bringing people. There is one key to this plan, that if Professor X ever dies, it is unclear whether or not Emma Frost is powerful enough to do the same thing he's doing. Because he's the one who puts the minds back in the body.
You know what just popped in my mind is that before all this, it means Goldballs every time he was shooting his balls at somebody, that's his eggs.
Yes.
He's just
Yep.
checking his eggs at
This
people.
is one of those things. This story is like, all right, I know that it's. Why can't I remember the authors? He did Avengers and freaking Fantastic Four. Hickman.
Yeah.
He's like the golden child right now. He's like Mark Waid and Chris Claremont were in their time. He is. He's
the master X-Man.
He's the author right there. I mean, he's the big author right now. He can do whatever he wants, kind of thing. His story ideas, the general principle of this, the premise is awesome. But he's working with some stuff that I'm just like, this is kind of stupid. There's some elements that I'm just like, and I mean, he's incorporating things that have already been there. So I'm assuming Goldball's already existed as a character, and then he brought him in.
As I was saying, before this, he used to chuck balls at people out of his chest.
Yeah, so...
There's actually his eggs, which makes it far grosser now that you're...
Yeah. So,
Think about it.
anyways,
Let's stop thinking about
Hey,
it.
let's not think about that. Gold balls.
so anyways, that is
That's like
the
James
general idea of House of X, Powers of X. It will be interesting to see how this kind of wraps up and how that feeds into the regular X-Men continuity going forward. Because there have been a couple of people, and I can't remember, I would attribute this to, I read an article and I didn't pay attention to who the author of the article was, I'm sorry, where the guy made the point that everything feels a little off in this. And not in a bad way, like the author doesn't have a handle on it. It purposely feels a little off. For example, there's in the first couple of comics, I think it's in the first one, there are images of various X-Men going to different places important to the X-Men, like the Savage Land, the blue area of the moon, the green area of Mars, and some places in Jerusalem, and planting Krakoa seeds, flowers, or whatever. But everyone you see, like Storm, when she's planting hers, her head's out of the panel. And then I think Kitty Pryde's one of the ones doing it, and she's facing away from the viewer's perspective. All of them are just a little off, in the presentation. You're like, why is this going on?
Yeah.
So, and you've got like when Professor X having these kind of like weird kind of smiles on his face when he's talking to people, and you're just like, that looks disingenuous and stuff. So there is this kind of weird
There's something going
vibe
on.
going
Clearly,
on
there's going to be a
what's going
reveal
on.
at the end of all this story.
Is Krakoa controlling everybody?
Sure.
Mind controlling everybody, or
Yeah.
it's just weird. It's interesting. I am intrigued to see how this finishes. Honestly, this sounds interesting enough that if they come out with a collected edition of it, I would probably pick it up to read. Yeah, because even though I know half the story,
And then get Kirsten to have it signed for you.
Well, first I gotta get sick.
It's a long, convoluted process, but months later, signed copy. All right, gold balls. Just gonna say it one more time. All right, folks, there you have it. Your wrap up of your weekly nerd news for the week. I guess it's redundant.
Weekly nerd news.
Weekly nerd news. Weekly.
Monthly.
Well, this wasn't a whole lot of nerd news today.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot. Sometimes
It covered the big story.
Yeah.
What everybody is looking forward to, Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, exactly. That was the big thing. And when I got that giant list of I just said, man, I'm gonna have no time. I'm gonna be a shut-in.
Yeah.
I'll watch Disney Plus. But, yes, it is creepy. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us tonight as we goofed over this stuff and told stories. We'll do it again next week. How about that? Sounds like a plan? All right, guys. Thank you very much for your support. Tuning in and watching this. If you're listening to this on Stitcher or iTunes or wherever you get your podcast from and you want to see our beautiful faces, check out our YouTube channel, YouTube/The Grizzled Geek, and you can watch us do this and other things because we have tons of other videos.
Yeah.
If you're watching us and you want to hear us later, reverse that. We're on all that stuff I just said. And if you want to support the channel and the things that we do here, Doug, how can they do that?
Well, whenever this goes from being the live edition to being in place on normal video on YouTube, Mike is going to put some links in the description, hopefully.
I'm about 5 days behind on this. So about 5 days from now, I'll remember I didn't put links on that.
Yeah,
on that video
or you can check out our other videos. And we'll have 3 links down there. We have a Teespring store, an Amazon affiliate link, and Patreon. And beginning today on Patreon, and then every other Thursday going forward, you can see Patreon exclusive, us reacting to My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Because
Finally have
YouTube
enough
wouldn't let us
clips
put it
of it.
up because it's copyright. So
Well, yeah, it's one of those.
we have to cut it up too much.
We have to cut it up too much, so.
Not fun for you guys.
That's right.
Or us.
All right, guys. Thank you. Good night, Ben.
Night.
We miss you. Jonathan, thank you for joining us live. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys again next week.
Bye.
Bye. Oh. And we weren't prepared for...
Just kidding.
We say goodbye. And look how awkward. It's like when you say goodbye to someone, you start walking the same direction. And you're like, oh, now you got to make awkward conversation after that. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.